Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout or click the link down below. And if you do, it will automatically apply it to your transaction and it helps support the channel. How do I, 25F, repair my relationship with my boyfriend, 25M, and his family after I suggested this to his sister, 19F? So, I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, who we'll call G, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings. M is 23M, A is 21M, and T is 19F. All of them are still in college and still live at home with their mom, 55F, and dad, 55M, while my boyfriend and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting a first-class ticket, high-end hotel, etc. One night, G and I were supposed to have dinner with his family. While we were at their house, T mentioned how excited that she was for the summer and all of the things that they planned on doing in France. As this is an anniversary trip for her parents, I suggested to T that she could do her parents a solid and maybe stay back home and out of their hair to give their parents time away from their kids this summer. Or she could maybe pay for her own way so her parents could have money. T asked me why she'd give up a trip to France, and I told her that it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. I kept trying to tell her how nice it would be and how her parents would probably thank her for giving them space. At some point, M interrupted us and told me to stop meddling in family affairs, that I was overstepping, and to either apologize for pressuring T or to leave the house. I told them I didn't mean to make anyone upset, but when their dad came into my room and asked them what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave his house and said that I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was making up a problem and pressuring T into solving it. Me and G went back to our apartment, and we haven't been speaking. Where do I go from here? Edit for more info. The info being, the others are invited, but they are older, so I assume that they just go do their own thing. The other info being, I'm not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that T starts making money on her own so she can value it more. She is used to getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for. Not to mention how much product she buys for her hair and sanitary products. It'll hit her hard how much this stuff costs when she is older, so why not start learning that now? So you're saying, just because she happens to be the youngest out of the trip, that she wouldn't want to do anything on her own, or, you know, here's the thing also, if you're invited to a trip, you're invited to a trip. The other people that are invited or don't want to go, don't also then get authority like you think that you have, where you can just then get other people to not go. This one also did happen to have an update, and as far as it goes, well, yeah. Here you go. Update. How do I, 25F, repair my relationship with my boyfriend, 25M, and his family after what I suggested to his sister, 19F? Last night, me and my G had a long and serious talk about my comments at the dinner, along with some of my past comments. He told me while in my family, refusing a free trip when you are invited may seem as noble, in his family, refusing a free trip is seen as stupid. In my family, if someone offers to pay for you, you should always decline, no matter what. My parents made me work all throughout high school, and always told me that I'd have to get a scholarship to help pay for college, because they weren't going to do it. It is also a courtesy in my family to not expect help with finances, no matter how tough it may get. To only eat one serving at dinner gatherings, to always pay your own way, and we often voice our opinions no matter what they are. He then went into discussing the trip to France. His mother has extended family who live there, so this will not be the first or last time they all go. It will be the first time they explore the area there, so even if T wasn't old enough to go off on her own, or didn't know her way around or the language, she'd be just fine. And if his mom and dad wanted alone time, she'd be just fine on her own, even if they didn't have family there. When me and G first started dating, and we were talking about our family history, she told me about how his maternal great-great-grandparents moved to America from France. It was under the impression that everyone from his mother's extended family moved, not just the great-great-grandparents and their children. Apparently, his mother thought my behavior was because I didn't feel welcome by them, and the dinner was to invite me on the France trip as a sort of peace offering. However, after his father caught me trying to sway T, he had enough and decided that he couldn't take it anymore, no matter what his wife says. He will not tolerate me being around the rest of the family, or in their home any longer. This came as a shock to the family, as his dad doesn't speak much and is usually calm and composed. My boyfriend also showed me his photos from his parents' wedding. It looked like one of the most fairy tale-like weddings that I had ever seen. It was held at Chateau Chalane, and he explained how they planned on renting the space again and flying all of their extended out to celebrate with them, because they want to celebrate with everybody, and will take time to themselves late on in the summer. I also teared up listening to how his parents met. After graduating high school, his mother spent the summer in France with her family, while his dad was visiting along with his older brother. His dad had struggled with cancer nearly his entire life up to that point, and it was supposed to be his dad's last trip before he himself let himself go because he was tired of all of it. One morning, while eating alone at a cafe, he recognized her as the most beautiful girl that he's ever seen, who spent her time helping out her family with the restaurant, running it like it was the Navy. Someone who wasn't afraid to call customers out when they were being unreasonable or just downright rude. And someone who knew exactly what she wanted and how to get it. The complete opposite of him. They spent the day together, which inspired his father to continue his career treatment, accomplishing his goals, and start taking life more seriously so he could be by her side for as long as she'd have him. His parents always told him and his siblings that the only thing in life they value more than each other are their children. And they want to make sure if life ever gets hard for them, that they'd have something to fall back on. He told me that he'd be moving back in with his parents until he can find a new apartment. He also revoked my invitation to their family Christmas trip to Aspen, which we were supposed to be leaving for tonight. I feel like I'm in a Darman video right now. What the F? On another note, my friend saw my initial post and gave me an intervention. I will be attending therapy for the foreseeable future. May update when I unpack what's wrong with me. Editing for info. People seem to be confused. When I say his father recognized his mother in France, I mean that literally, as they are from the same hometown. Some people also think that I'm saying love cured his father's cancer. I was told that it was what made him continue treatment. That's all that I was told. I've also made comments about the years of the Chateau Chalane becoming a wedding venue and the wedding not making sense. Unless I'm misremembering something. I remember him saying that they were married there. Maybe I'm mixing up the locations. when he was talking about the wedding venue and the wedding anniversary venue. I can understand spending time with a loved one for an anniversary or everything, but if you want to share that experience with other people, that's your choice, not the choice of some random person who thinks that it might be better off if somebody else doesn't go. If the people that are setting up the whole trip say that they want to invite other people, that's their decision, not yours to make. I feel awful about how I feel about my wife. And I don't know what to do. Apologies in advance, this may turn into an emotional rant. We just had our 12th anniversary this year, and it was the worst anniversary that we've ever had. For years, I've complained to her that I feel like her roommate rather than her husband, and father to her children. Why do I feel like this? Because whenever I try to show affection, such as a random hug or kiss, or just coming up behind her and putting my arms around her and telling her I love her, she either physically pushes me away or verbally does. Like, why would a wife not want affection from her husband? This isn't just a one-time thing. It's a constant issue that I've been complaining about to her for years. When I get really adamant about it, I tell her how it makes me feel unwanted and unloved. She will change her behavior for a little while, and then it eventually goes right back. In other day-to-day interactions, it always seems like she thinks the worst of me, making comments to our marriage counselor, of all people, that when it comes to some financial decisions, I'm just going to do whatever I want. That broke me. I have never made a financial decision without talking to her about it before. And when she said that in counseling, I was just absolutely crushed as I realized she thinks so little of me. When it comes to intimacy, I have to practically beg her for any kind of contact, and then I feel like I'm doing horrible things to her because I can tell that she's doing it to shut me up. I've stopped being able to finish with her. So, I tried stopping all of my attempts at any affection with her. No more hugs, no kisses, or initiating the handholdings by me. I stopped jumping up when she got home and excitedly talked to her about our days. I started withdrawing from her and spending more time out of the house with friends, doing things that made me happy. I spent more time with my son and daughter, and I was getting along just fine. She claims that she noticed me pulling away but never said anything about it. Didn't make any attempts at affection, or talking to me about it. Nothing. I got a second job that ends up with me interacting with a lot of different women. Some of them show me more attention than my wife does. I can't help be desired them over my wife. Not that I'm acting on it, but the feelings are there. Finally, it comes up during counseling, and I admit that I don't feel the way I used to. I've lost that spark, that excitement to be around her. I find myself wanting to be with other people more than I want to be around her. After counseling, we had another talk, and I felt horrible telling her how I felt. It just poured out of me. I didn't yell as I wasn't mad. I was just extremely sad. And I felt guilty because I know she loves me and doesn't want to end things. But I just feel emotionally checked out. Once she realized I was ready to call it quits, everything changed. Suddenly, she was showering me with affection every day, all day. She finally stopped sitting on the other side of the couch ignoring me and would snuggle up to me, wanting to be held. She would initiate kisses, she would initiate S. She would suddenly be the fun girl that I dated all those years ago and not a miserable person that ruined nearly every interaction that I have with other people. In the past, she wouldn't take part in any real get-togethers, or even just wanting to do things. All she would do is complain about it the whole time. She would be the proverbial wet blanket. Well, not anymore. Now she's the first to suggest doing something fun. She's laughing again and trying to have fun. She's basically being everything I could have asked her to be again. Now I feel awful that it's not working. I still feel the same. Like it's too late for me emotionally. In the back of my mind, all I can think is this is just a temporary thing, and it's going right back to the way it was soon. This doesn't feel like a loving marriage anymore for me. It feels like I'm with a girl who really wants to be with me, but I'm just saying so I don't hurt her feelings. It's not going to be fair for her. She's not all bad. She's a great mother and a great partner. She takes care of the house, then she's got a great job, and she supported me through the years, which makes me feel even worse about how I feel. Do I just give up? Is there a way to fall back in love with her? I just don't know what to do, or if I'm just crazy. Help! Saying the word grape instead of the other word, I'm not sure how to feel about that. That just doesn't sound right. It's not like you're on a YouTube video when you're typing that up. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if you're really not sure of what type of affection your partner likes or is comfortable with, you could always try asking them. It doesn't really seem like you took the time and, just straight up ask them. Sometimes people are perfectly fine with one form of affection, meanwhile other people are different. Am I the a-hole for taking a little time to myself in the morning? My wife, 30F, Lara, and I, 35M, have 2 children, ages 2 and 3.5, and have been married for 5 years. Lara is a som to our boys, and takes the boys 3 days of the week to care for her grandmother, who has dementia. The other 4 days, a nurse comes in. I work in retail management. My typical schedule is 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., with a 1-hour lunch if I choose to take it. I live about 45 minutes from my job, and I like to head out a bit early, get a coffee, and quick bite, and send some emails from a cafe before going into work. This means I typically leave the house between 8:30 and 9 a.m. in the morning. After work, I'm often frustrated, so I stop by the 24-hour gym I'm a member at and run on the treadmill or lift weights for a bit. This puts me getting home at 12 or just after. On weekends, I often have things planned with family or friends that tend to use up a portion of my day. Lara is telling me I need to stick around to help her more in the mornings. She is insisting my routine isn't all that important, and I'm making her feel like a single mom. From my perspective, I enjoy my routine. I get some peace and quiet, and it's a nice way for me to prepare for and end my day. Lara wants me to be at home until she either leaves with the boys or goes to her grandmother's, or until it's closer to noon. If I did that, I'd completely miss being able to go to the cafe and deal with emails while I mentally prepare myself for the day. She doesn't mind me going to the gym so much as she usually is asleep by the time that I get home. I've offered to ask my sister or mom to come over and help her in the morning a day or 2 a week, but she rejected that idea. I feel like I've offered a compromise of sorts, but Lara tells me I haven't. Am I the a-hole? But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!